Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a seriously fascinating roadmap of our near future. We'll be exploring some highly realistic scenarios of our world, specifically 15 to 20 years from now. This is all based on the brilliant synthesis of Kai-Fu Lee and Chen Qiufan's groundbreaking work, AI 2041, 10 Visions for Our Future. We're looking at exactly what happens when you combine the foresight of one of the world's leading AI experts with the imagination of a celebrated science fiction writer. And remember, we aren't talking about the distant 23rd century here. We're talking about the year children born today will actually graduate from high school. So let's jump right in.
Right off the bat, let's look at this quote. It completely shatters that whole Hollywood Terminator myth. The central thesis we're working with here is incredibly grounding. AI is not some apocalyptic super being coming for us tomorrow. Actually, scratch that, it's more like a foundational reshaping tool. Just think about how electricity or the internet completely rewired our economy, our medicine, and our education. AI is on that exact same trajectory, and it's fundamentally altering our very understanding of what it means to be human.
All right, here's our roadmap for today. 1. Welcome to the year 2041. 2. Transforming life and society. 3. The dark side of AI. 4. The new economy of abundance. 5. AI limits versus human superpowers. And finally, 6. 3 ways to prepare today.
Section 1. Welcome to the year 2041. From narrowed tasks to generative power.
Just look at the massive leap we've taken here. On the left, we've got AI 1.0, the pre-2022 era. This was all about narrow models. We had to do massive amounts of manual data labeling, and the AI was basically trapped in dedicated single tasks, like a simple spam filter or basic facial recognition. But now, we're officially in the era of AI 2.0. These are multimodal foundation models, like large language models and generative networks. They train on vast data sets without all that manual labeling. They can reason, they can write code, create art, and adapt dynamically to completely new tasks. This specific leap is the engine driving all of our 2041 scenarios.
Section 2. Transforming Life and Society. Everyday Tech Miracles and Dilemmas.
It's honestly incredible to see these everyday tech miracles mapped out across the globe. Take Busan, South Korea. Imagine a personalized AI companion that detects a child's emotions and adjusts the material's difficulty on the fly. These large language models act like top-tier Harvard professors for literally every child, effectively dismantling educational inequality. Then look at San Francisco. AI in bioinformatics, like AlphaFold, means developing a new drug or vaccine will take mere weeks instead of 10 years and billions of dollars. And in Tokyo, fully autonomous vehicles communicating over 6G networks will make traffic congestion in parking lots completely vanish. But of course, handing the wheel over to algorithms introduces some incredibly complex ethical dilemmas when unavoidable accidents occur.
But this extreme optimization, it quickly gets into some pretty precarious territory. In a scenario set in Mumbai, deep learning doesn't just predict things, it actively manages lives. By 2041, your insurance company might not just assess your risk, it might literally manage your behavior. Imagine an algorithm analyzing what you eat, your daily steps, and even who you talk to. If you want to go on a date with a certain person, the algorithm might subtly adjust your family's insurance rate to coerce you into altering your behavior. It's incredibly efficient, sure, but it introduces the very real danger of total behavioral control.
Section 3. The dark side of AI. Unprecedented systemic threats. Let's pivot to Lagos, Nigeria in 2041. Generative neural networks have achieved such terrifying perfection that we hit a massive crisis of trust. When deepfake technologies can seamlessly forge live video streams, biometric markers, voice signatures, and even emotional reactions, how do you know what's actually real? So the absolutely crucial point here is that in the world of AI 2.0, our primary scarcity won't be information itself, but actual trust in data authenticity. We're going to desperately rely on specialized digital authenticity systems built on blockchain just to verify what is real.
And these dilemmas, they get even more intimate. A really poignant scenario set in Sydney introduces the concept of grief bots. These are digital avatars of deceased individuals, constructed from their messaging archives and digital footprints. Now, while having an AI replica of a lost loved one or an idol might offer tremendous comfort at first, the source points out a severe psychological ramification. It can trap individuals in a total illusion and actively obstruct the natural grieving process.
But perhaps the absolute darkest scenario explored here takes place in Munich.
This combines two terrifying technologies: quantum computers capable of cracking modern encryption standards within seconds, paired with microscopic, autonomous drones equipped with facial recognition. This creates an unprecedented threat of targeted precision attacks, what the authors refer to as quantum genocide. This prompts a very clear, urgent call to action from the authors for binding international treaties to ban autonomous weaponry before it is simply too late.
Section 4. The New Economy of Abundance, from Scarcity to Surplus. Now, despite those incredibly sobering risks we just talked about, we're actually looking at a tremendously optimistic macroeconomic shift as well. We're talking about a true transition from an economy of scarcity to an economy of abundance. By optimizing solar energy production, battery technology, and robotics, AI starts to drive the marginal cost of energy generation and material manufacturing rapidly towards zero. With automated production of food and goods, the fundamental rules of economics change for the better. This clears pathways for resolving global environmental crises and makes universal basic income a totally realistic implementation. As a result, societal value begins to shift beautifully away from merely accumulating financial capital, moving instead toward human attention, creativity, and interpersonal care. However, this transition, it's not going to be entirely smooth. In places like the USA, mass automation will heavily impact both blue-collar and white-collar occupations. Algorithms are simply going to perform auditing, legal research, diagnostic analysis, and routine programming far better than human professionals, so turns out our fancy spreadsheets aren't that safe either. So the big takeaway here is that our biggest challenge in 2041 won't be physical survival or a shortage of labor. It's going to be a massive crisis of purpose among millions of displaced workers who need to find new meaning in a highly automated world.
Section 5. AI limits versus human superpowers.
What machines cannot do.
All right, first things first, we've got to accept where we've been beaten. AI will completely and forever surpass us in data processing speed, complex pattern recognition, and routine analytics. It is the absolute ultimate tool for precise optimization, and it can operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without ever needing a coffee break or feeling an ounce of fatigue. Fighting the machines on these fronts is literally a losing battle.
But here is where our real future lies, our actual human superpowers. These are the domains where AI just completely hits a wall. First, genuine empathy and compassion. An AI can simulate a comforting response, sure, but it cannot actually feel emotion or form a true human bond. Second, meaningful creativity. AI remixes existing data, but conceptual thinking and intentional, deeply felt artistic creation, that belongs to us. And finally, complex moral judgments and general-purpose intelligence. AI really struggles with the nuanced ethical decision-making required in complex, real-world situations. Our future economy absolutely must reorient around these exact human-centric domains.
Section 6. 3 Ways to Prepare Today, your 2041 Survival Guide.
So, knowing all of this, how do we actually get ready? While the most important realization from the source is that the future is not predetermined. Artificial intelligence is not fate, it's merely a mirror reflecting our own qualities back at us. We have total agency here. If we use AI just to extract short-term profits or build autonomous weapons, we get dystopia. But if we direct it toward accessible education, medicine, and liberating people from drudgery, we get that golden era of abundance. To make sure you thrive in that era, the source provides 3 definitive strategies you can start applying today. Here is your playbook. Step 1. Hyper-focus on cultivating your human exclusive skills. Really double down on empathy, critical thinking, complex communication, and leadership, the things the machines just can't touch. Step 2. Master AI as a core tool. Remember, AI might not replace you, but a professional who knows how to leverage neural networks absolutely will replace someone who ignores them. And step 3. Fully embrace lifelong learning. That old model of getting 1 degree to last your whole life, that's officially extinct. You must continuously adapt. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to turn it over to you. We've looked at everything from AI tutors dismantling educational inequality to deepfakes shattering our trust, all the way to the highly optimistic economy of abundance. So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative question, directly inspired by the source material. Out of all these distinct global scenarios for 2041, which one do you believe will become our reality first? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and keep learning.